I thought today was good. Overall, had some nervous guys out there to start it, which is normal. Their first time being playing in front of people. Um, but overall, I'm pleased with it. Would like to tighten up on some turnovers and stuff like that. But I think you can all can tell that um, this is a competitive group. This is a together group. We got some talented young men that are going to be really good basketball players, and we took a step in the right direction with this group.
What did you see overall from the guys on defense? It seemed like compared to last year's red white scrimmage, the defensive effort and the defensive rotations looked a lot better and a lot more focused.
Well, I think the main thing you saw is at times you see Dennis Evans block two or three shots or change a shot that makes a difference. I think on the perimeter when you see four and five guys, whether it's the ones, the twos, the threes, especially those three positions, can guard multiple players, and they get after it and they wanna compete against each other. They have a toughness on the defensive end, which tonight I thought was less than what it's been in practice. In practice, it's been a lot more physical, or not a lot more determination.
Touched upon Dennis's game tonight. 5 blocks for him. What did you like out of his defensive effort specifically, and just how he used his length?
I like the fact that he stayed ahead of the game. In order to block shots, you can never be behind the action. You got to be anticipating and ahead of the action. Um, I thought he did a good job. You know, for him, this is new. Having to move like that, having to run the floor like that, having to guard on the perimeter with dribble handoffs and stuff. He did a good job. I'm very happy with what I saw. I love the fact that he caught passes and dunked them, caught the ball high and finished high. A lot of times the turnovers were bounce passes, and why would we ever throw a bounce pass to Dennis Evans? I've never known. But I'm happy with what he did tonight. It's a step in the right direction.
Follow up on Dennis. It appeared a couple of times that he'd get his hand on a ball and rebound and just wouldn't grip it. Does he? Is his development really about that? About trying to be more assertive, or?
No question. I think his development is a number of things. It's one, getting the body in enough shape and strong enough to handle, getting up and down the court. Um, in the 70s and 80s, you just stick him under the basket and say whatever comes in there, you block it. Nowadays, you got five men that shoot threes. You got guys that handle the ball as the five that drive it and do dribble handoffs and drive the ball to score. So he's learning that. He's learning to anticipate passes, to catch passes. He's learning how to get to spots and be in a dunker spot to get a lob. He's learning to be ready for the lob, to be ready for direct passes. He's learning that he has to hit in order to get a rebound. He can't just say I'm 7-2 or whatever and think I can get a ball because somebody's going to hit him. So it's a bunch of different things that I think his development entails. And the greatest thing about Dennis Evans is that every single day he comes in here and tries to learn as much as possible.
To stick to Dennis, since he's gotten here, how much weight has he gained, and how much stronger has he gotten, and how much more can he add to that during the season?
Well, I don't know exactly how much weight he's gained, but I can tell you from the first day till today, he's made a drastic change. Probably sounds a little scary because he has a lot more in him that we got to get out. The whole key is movement. We got to get his ankles stronger. We got to get his knees stronger. We got to get his hips stronger. We got to get him to anticipate things before they happen. At that length, with his feel, with his touch, he could be a force. But if he can't move well enough, he'll always be behind the action. The challenge is to make sure that we keep him anticipating things and fighting to stay ahead of the game.
JJ was pretty active out on the floor. Your thoughts on how he's progressed coming to this? Obviously, he's one of your veterans, and is he okay after going down there late?
I hadn't seen him yet, but I think JJ was okay. I'm not judging JJ on shots made, on rebounds, on assists. I'm judging JJ strictly on energy. I need to see him be an energetic basketball player. And when he is an energetic basketball player, we all can attest to he's pretty good. Getting out of his norm, which is not natural for him to be energetic. He's sort of a quiet, unassuming kid. But man, when he's energetic and he plays with a super energy, he's a good basketball player.
I just want to ask about the other freshmen, Tyler, Curtis, and Caleb all had good showings today. Just what did you see from them?
Tyler, I think, did a really good job. You see he's talented, he's fearless, he plays with pace, he gets after the ball, he's learning. From day one that he's been here to today, he's made a big jump. He's done nothing but get better. But as I say that, when he gets in better shape, he's even going to be even better. He can really shoot the ball. He can create offense. He can pass. He's a floor general, and he's tough. Caleb, I thought, played hard. I thought he played well. I thought he crashed the boards well. Need to see him be able to handle playing on the perimeter and making good decisions, both offensively and defensively. Curtis, I thought Curtis was out of rhythm offensively in the first half. I thought he played to score, and which was a great lesson. He does that a little bit in practice. He's a gifted scorer. And when you play to score in a college game, you're out of rhythm. If you let it come to you and you play within the system and you play the pass to get teammates shots, then when it comes to you, you get shots in rhythm. You play with a different pace, a different rhythm to the game. But to me, overall, I think the guy that, Sky I thought was good, some careless turnovers, but to me the guy is Trey White. Trey White, to me, is a guy that fills up a stat sheet. I don't know how many points or rebounds or assists, but he was the guy that he was the most unselfish player, and that guy ended up getting the most points. He got assists. He played the right way. He looked to get people shots. He didn't play for him. If we have the potential to have 5 or 6 guys to play like that, what does that look like? We're a pretty good team.
Kenny, Trey and Sky both talked about how close this team is off the floor. They talked about the brotherhood that this team has. Do you see that helping them on the court, and is that different from last year?
Major difference. I just think the chemistry of these guys they're all similar. They have the same goals, same aspirations. They love basketball. They compete. And they go out and play with a fight, with a togetherness. They talk to each other when things are hard, which, again, I try to make things hard in practice so that I can see how they handle it without me having to talk them through it. Having them fail and bump their heads at times is great for me because you see if there's going to be a divide or if there's going to be a come together of guys. This group has came together thus far, but real adversity is coming, as we all know, and they're going to have to depend on each other for us to be a good team.
Kenny, Trey talked about being a leader, and when he was in here a few minutes ago, trying to be more of a leader. Have you seen that in kind of what we saw tonight? Is that what you've been seeing, what you were just talking about? Is that kind of what you've been seeing from him on a consistent basis?
What I saw from him tonight is the reason I brought him here, which probably didn't see a lot of that at USC. But when I watched him and evaluated, I saw a player that can handle the ball, can pass the ball, can shoot the ball, can defend, has a great spirit about him. Some of this I'm learning as he got here. I'm learning how he deals with his teammates, how he communicates. Every day he works hard that he's on the court, and I'm expecting more. To me, guys like that can fill up a stat sheet. If you get 2, 3, 4 of those guys, you got a good team.
Kenny, when you look at this group, obviously with some experience from the portal and some newcomers, and with games coming, how much have you been able to, or do you intend to start to implement different plays and different actions and just the way you like to play with games coming?
It's funny, tried not to run any of our plays. And I, yelled a couple times, why are we running this play or that play? I don't want anybody to see our plays. Not that there's any secrets in this game, but I want them to be able to play without giving away too much. For example, shoot around this morning, all we did was work on our plays, and then we get in out here today. We had a couple things that we were running, and they started going into the bag, pulling out more and more, and I'm like, what are we doing? But I don't want to give out too much too early, but I want them comfortable as well.
In terms of cleaning things up, the guys were talking about, do you see this group, or how do you see this group as making mistakes as part of the process and learning from them, as opposed to making mistakes and being tentative and not growing from that?
I think that's the key to being a good player. I think that's the key to being a good team. You're going to make mistakes. I'm looking for guys to fall down. For example, Curtis. Curtis went out there and started playing, and he just shot balls, and it looked like at times the way it was in practice. And I'm like, Curtis, that's not a play that's within the concept. That's you just trying to get a shot. I didn't recruit you. I didn't evaluate you and see you play that way. You are a basketball player. Good basketball players that have a knack for putting the ball in the basket, they will find shots. But when they become really good is when they're able to get their teammates' shots and then get theirs as well. That's an example of what you're talking about. I needed him, and I didn't say one word to him about it. I love the fact that he was 0 for 7 or whatever. I hope he shot 5 more shots, because he'll learn that I got to change. I got to make this change. I got to make this adjustment to what I'm doing so that I can have success.
You talked about Dennis a lot, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the other bigs. You spoke Monday just about needing Brandon to be more of a rebounder. He had 2 tonight. It was good to see him get back up and finish after going down hard and hit a 3. But what did you think of his play, and then Amani as well?
I thought E-Man was really good rebounding the ball offensively. I need him to get a couple more defensive rebounds. I think he had 1 or 0 at halftime defensive rebounds. Look, they have to hold the fort down against more physical players until we get Dennis stronger. That's just the reality of it. Every day we're working on trying to get Dennis stronger and better and more alert to what's going on, and he's making strides. But let's not get it confused. Emmanuel, Brandon are vital to what we're doing every day.
Did you like how they were paired with Dennis? I mean, you had him and Brandon paired together. I'm just wondering how you kind of see that.
I liked it. I think that Brandon does things at times that coexist with Dennis. You'll see him at times make a lob to Dennis, make little passes. Dennis is unselfish. Brandon can stretch the floor at times and make a shot, make a jump shot, which goes well with what Dennis does. Him and Emmanuel are a little different. They both are classic 5s. Emmanuel's not a scoring 5, where Brandon can be. So they do play well together, Dennis and Brandon.
Kenny, there were 17 combined turnovers in the first half, but how much of that do you attribute to their just being nervousness, like you mentioned earlier, especially since there were only 7 combined turnovers in the second half?
I like the fact that they turned the ball over, I'll be honest with you, simply because I want them to learn to play with freedom. This is early. I don't know, 11 practices, 12 practices, if that. I need them to be in front of people to see what it's like. Shoot around today, we were dropping balls, we were missing dribbles, and the ball was going out of bounds. I was like, oh my God, you guys are nervous. I like that. This is your first time being in the arena, people in the arena, playing in front of a big crowd, which I thought was great for those people to come out and support us. And they, the kids feel it. They feel it. And you're going to have turnovers when that happens, when this is their first time in front of them. But I thought they made the adjustment in the second half and handled things play with a different poise, even though the Red played well in the first half as well.
Kenny, the teams combined to have assists on, I think it was 54% of the made baskets. How much better do you feel like you guys will be this year in terms of being able to share the ball like that?
I think that's the key. Offensively, I want to see them be a good passing team, make passes to each other, big to big passes. We saw a couple of them. I want Sky to be able to make efficient passes at times. He gets a little careless. Look, at the end of the day, the best offensive teams are going to be the best passing teams. I think we'll be, and I hope that you guys can see it, we are way further along than we were a year ago at this time. So we got a lot of work to do, but we have the ingredients to be a pretty good team, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, you divided the teams up obviously fairly evenly. As Sky and Trey were on different teams. How close are you in your mind to who your starting five is?
Not close at all. I want them to earn it, Rick, to be honest with you. I want to be able to look at this and say I got 10 starters, 11 starters, 12 starters. Now y'all figure it out. They can make my job easy, or they can make my job literally very hard. We have a lot of good players, but in order for them to make my job hard, all 12 got to play 13, 14, 15, whatever. They all got to play great. Then I got to make decisions. But if some guys decide I ain't going to class today, my job just became easy. I'm not sharing the ball, my job just became easy. I don't like my teammates, my job just became, I'm going to be late to something, my job just became easy. So I like for my job to be hard, but they decide that. All right, guys.